Hello, my friends. I'm Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church, Bergenfield, New Jersey. I am thrilled that you are back to hear about our parables of Jesus. Can you believe we're up to number 8 already? We're more than halfway through. It's hard to believe. But these parables, I hope, are teaching you some great lessons about life, what God hopes that we live like. And it benefits us on this earth too, in our lives. Today, I'm going to tell you the story about the two sons. Once upon a time, said Jesus, there was a man who had two sons. And he told the two of them that he needed them to work on his farm today. Now, the first son said, no problem, Pop. I got this. I'll do whatever you say. And he went off like he was going to work the farm. And he didn't. See the man in the hammock here? A shout out to Bonnie Kittle from Unsplash for that picture. The first son said, no problem, Dad. I am going to go work on that farm. I'll do everything you tell me. He didn't. He snuck off and he was just relaxing away. I feel a little bit bad telling you about my sister because she's not here to defend herself. But whenever my mother told my sister and I to clean up our rooms, she used to say, no problem, Ma. And she'd go in the room and she'd put on a radio really, really loud and she'd start reading a book. She was even a bigger reader than I am. She would read a book and the radio was going, and my mother thought she was cleaning her room. She wasn't. She was listening to the radio, reading a book. Then, after a little while, she would come out and she would get the vacuum cleaner and she would bring that in her room and she would put the vacuum on and she would sit and read her book with the vacuum going. And my mother used to always say, how wonderful. Your sister never gives me an argument. When I tell her to clean her room, she just cleans her room. What do you think I did? I was never really big into cleaning. People still accuse me of having a messy office. I really don't like cleaning that much. I used to pitch a fit and argue and argue and argue and argue and argue. But guess what? I finally did clean my room like my mother told me, but it took me a lot of arguing. And she always said to me, oh, I wish you were like your sister. She never argues, she just goes and cleans her room. My mother never realized that my sister wasn't cleaning the room at all. She was sitting there doing what she wanted to do. So Jesus tells the story about the two sons, and he tells them to get to work on the farm. And the first son says, no problem, Pop, and he sneaks off and does absolutely nothing. The second son said, I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. But later on, the son said, I really should do what Pop says. And he did go out and work in the field. And Jesus said to those folks who were listening to the story, who did the Father's work? The one who said, okay, but didn't? Or the one who said, no, I'm not going to do it, but wound up doing it? Well, I guess the answer is kind of obvious, isn't it? It's the one who finally did the work, who did what Pop told him to do. And the one who sounded good, said he would do it, He never really did his Father's work. Jesus uses that as an illustration that people can change. If we start out saying, no, I don't want to pray. No, I don't want to go to church. No, I don't want to be that kind of person. But later on, we change our minds and we do what God says. We do pray. We do sing praise to God. We do start engaging in church. We do start being kind to others. Well, we're the ones who really are doing God's work. And other people who say, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm with God. Yep, I'm a real Christian. But they don't act like Jesus wants them to do. And they say, oh, yeah, we'll pray. But they don't. They're like the first son. They'll say that they're going to do it, but they really don't. Some of us for a while had trouble being in church. Other things looked a little more exciting. There's always time for us to turn around and start doing what God wants us to do. And God's thrilled when we do that. But one of the worst things in the world is to say we're Christian, to say we're a disciple of Christ, but not do what he tells us to do. Just be a fake Christian. And so we'll say, oh, yeah, we're praying. Oh, yeah, we believe in God. Oh, yeah, we're following Christ. But we act mean to other people. That's not doing God's will. And forget our prayer lives. That's not doing God's will. So my challenge is for all of us. If we've been the second son, let's turn it around and start honoring God. And if we're more like the first son who says, yep, we'll do it, well, let's actually do it. Don't pretend. Let's not be fake people. God wants us to be kind to one another. God wants us to honor him. God wants to talk to us in prayer. So let's do it. We'll be better people for it. God will be very happy. And God will bless us because of the good things that we do. So this is Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church in Bergenfield, New Jersey, with the story of the two sons. And guess what? A cat just joined me. I guess he's jealous I'm talking to you instead of him. God bless you this week. Please introduce your friends to these Bible stories, and I'll see you next week for parable number 9. God bless you.